But moving now to today's Media Watch, Emma James is here with us in the studio. It's good to see you, Emma. You're taking us to Turkey, and there has been a lot of online reaction to the trial of 17 journalists and executives from the Cumhuriyet newspaper.
Yes, absolutely. One of Turkey's last remaining independent newspapers. Of course, this being watched closely around the world, and not least by a lot of cartoonists around the world too, because of course it is a cartoonist, Musa Kart, who is among those people accused of terrorism offences, purely, of course, for his work on the newspaper. This cartoon has the canaries in the democracy mine, and for the moment the bird is alive, and I guess his survival depends on the outcome of this trial. And the hashtag Free Turkey Media is being used very widely online today. This is the Freedom of Speech Museum, and of course you can see that it is a prison, particularly gruesome in that it also has a guillotine and a hangman's noose inside the perimeter wall. This image to state-approved self-erasing cartoonist's pencil, a particularly wry take on the situation, and this one has Musa Kart spelt out in the prison bars, and you can see he's managed to put his hand through and etch freedom of speech and the Turkish flag on the prison door. Now, Amnesty International has provided a few facts about Turkey's media situation as it is right now, obviously urging people to get in contact with their politicians, urging them to do something about what is happening, because it says Turkey now jails more journalists than any other country in the world. A third of all imprisoned journalists are held in Turkish prisons. Most of them haven't yet been put on trial, and more than 160 media outlets have been closed. So it really is a huge media clampdown that has been carried out. One other article that is definitely worth taking a look at today is written by the former editor-in-chief, who is currently in exile. He's written this for Canada's Globe and Mail. There is an arrest warrant for him issued in absentia in October 2016. He says the evidence against him and himself and all of his colleagues is basically reports, interviews, headlines, tweets and columns critical of the government. In other words, they are being tried on charges of journalism. Now, he also points out that there is an irony here, or perhaps it's a deliberate choice, that this trial got underway on the 24th of July, which is actually the anniversary of the lifting of censorship in Turkey. It's been marked as Press Freedom Day since 1908. He says this year we commemorate the struggle for Press Freedom Day in prisons, courtrooms and exile.
Oh, so very poignant timing there for that trial. Let's talk about Michael Phelps. He's been dubbed the world's greatest swimmer, hasn't he? But a lot of people are a little disappointed by his latest stunt. Tell us why.
Yes, it was billed as the ultimate test of man versus beast, and it was pitting not just any ordinary man, but as you say, the 23-time gold medal winning Michael Phelps. His competition, a great white shark. But according to the Daily Beast, Michael Phelps has disappointed America by not getting eaten by a shark on TV. This writer says, we sent national treasure Michael Phelps into the water to race sharks, and not only did he lose, but he also did not get eaten.
Not even a nip.
Absolutely. Michael Phelps, for the first time, has completely disappointed America, he says. Well, expectations had been raised, perhaps higher than they should have been, by all the publicity that came before this show, which went out yesterday on the Discovery Channel, marking the start of Shark Week. I didn't know anything existed of that ilk, but apparently it does. There was a very dramatic trailer, and you can see why people were expecting fireworks on this show. Take a look.
One trained to be the best since the day he was born. The other has been perfected by evolution. The great white shark meets the greatest of all time. Phelps versus Shark, the battle for ocean supremacy.
Almost as dramatic as Jaws, isn't it? Goodness.
It is very impressive. However, this is the footage from the actual programme of what went out. Slightly less impressive, because although it has the pair of them supposedly racing side by side, it is not a real shark. This has all been computer generated, all terribly clever.
Oh, that is disappointing.
It is rather disappointing. And it is kind of funny, really, that people had far greater expectations expectations for this programme. Of course, Michael Phelps lost, which added to the sense of disappointment because I think most people hoped that he might be able to pull off the impossible. And you'll notice he's wearing a strange set of flippers. They've turned him into some kind of merman creature. Yes, it's all very odd. But yes, he did get pipped by 2 seconds by the white shark. But what people online have been saying is that their expectations were very different. When Michael Phelps said he was going to race a shark, this is how I pictured it, says this Twitter user. And that image, I think, is
that's exactly what everyone was expecting, surely.
Well, maybe not in the swimming pool, but I think there was a bit of proximity expected. Turns out Michael Phelps races a shark was really just Michael Phelps swims alone and then compares his time to a shark's time. And this one, call me crazy, but I thought they were going to put Phelps up against a real shark, not a simulation. I feel robbed. And it is quite funny that I think people, perhaps in this day and age where so many risks are taken making television programmes, they expected more from this. I love this image, which is a very famous one of Phelps looking very disappointed beside the pool. Me realising I can't ever get back the time I spent watching the fake shark race. And this one too says the real winner of Phelps versus shark was anyone who didn't waste an hour of their life. Voice of reason here, though, from TJ Holmes. Seriously, did any of you all really think they were putting the greatest Olympian of all time in open water next to a shark? But my favourite one is this response, which says, how else are we going to know if he's really the greatest?
True.
As for Michael Phelps himself, he just tweeted this, rematch, next time, warmer water. He's blaming the temperature of the water for that loss.
What is that expression about TV shows jumping the shark?
I don't know.
Yes, I'll look that one up when
they've
gone past their best anyway. Emma, thank you very much indeed. Emma James there with MediaWatch. Pretty fishy one at that.